on the filling for the 4th of July bursting blueberry pie. Start with 4 cups of freshly picked blueberries. The recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, but because I know they were really sweet, I'm going to probably just use about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of it. And just sort of turn that in, and that gets the juices start to plump up the berries. We're also going to use 1/2 cup of flour for the binding agent, and also 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of almond flavoring, zest of a lemon rind, and that's the part to me that makes it bursting, because it's bursting with that bright lemony flavor. And then we're going to just mix this up until the berries start to kind of all bleed together into the nice juicy pie filling. It takes a few minutes, put a little pressure on it. Alright, so our filling's ready. I took the pie crust out of the oven. I'm going to pour the pie filling in and spread it around inside the crust. And this is optional, you don't have to do it, but if you add about a tablespoon of butter, just put little daubs on the pie crust filling. It adds a nice rich flavor to it. Okay, we're ready to put the top crust on. We're going to just fold it over, and we're going to fold it right over the top of our pie plate. And put the blueberries to bed. Okay, now we're just going to start taking the top crust and fold it in, and we're going to pinch it off for a nice finished edge. I just kind of roll that extra crust up. Helps to seal in the juices while it's cooking. Don't worry about mistakes. If you make a mistake, patch it. So then, of course, I'm not the best at making a beautiful fringed crust, but you can go around and try to shape it as nicely as you want. But for me, it tastes the same either way. I'm going to go ahead and cut slits in the top of my pie. These are the air vents. Some people like to do decorations. Because this is my 4th of July pie, I'm going to make a little firework on top. Now what you want to do is just kind of dip your fingers in some milk and just gently spread it over the top of your pie crust. We're going to finish it off by sprinkling some sugar over the top. And that's all we need to do. It'll look like this. Now we preheated our oven to 400 degrees. We're going to go edges of this crust. That will keep the edges from getting too dark. I've just cut some small sections, and we're going to just squeeze them gently around the sides. That'll keep that from getting too dark, too hard. We'll have a nice soft, tender end crust on these when it's all done. Now this bakes in the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. What we're going to do is set the timer for about 20 minutes and check it, because when you're baking your pie, you want to get your crust nice and golden brown, but you also want to make sure the filling's getting cooked. And so we watch the slits to see when the blueberries start to bubble up inside, so we know the inside of it's boiling. Putting it in my preheated oven, and I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. If you're using a thermometer, the internal temperature should be 175 degrees. And we are at about 160 degrees. It's kind of going up and down as my hand moves in here. So we have a little ways to go. But you can also tell, though, because the pie filling isn't bubbling through the cracks quite yet, but you do see that the top is starting to get golden brown. We're going to go ahead and remove the foil for this last 10 to 15 minutes of cooking, so that our edges will start to brown. Okay, this should be it. We're taking one last temperature here, and we're done. So we're going to pull this out and just set it out to cool. Now remember, the secret to the perfect pie is to let it cool off before you slice it. So take it and let it sit in a nice cool place until after dinner now. And then we'll enjoy our bursting blueberry pie for 4th of July.